welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exciting day of Apex ahead of us today. We are hopping into match day number 8 here. Pretty exciting. Some pretty cool storylines going on. We're starting with our 3 Storm Point games today. So as we can see, here's our POI draft. Pretty standard. As we talked about last week, we are seeing pretty much all the same things left open, which doesn't surprise me. Usually it's Alliance that rotates into NorthPad. We did see in North America um, uh, these two teams fighting over NorthPad. We might see the same thing in EMEA today. Be very fun to see. Some early skirmishes, but mostly in this meta, teams are opting really hard for those early rotates. Long gone are the Fire Beavers days of sitting edge zone and just crafting up and chilling until you're triple red and then finding an isolated 3v3. Those opportunities aren't as present in current meta. Teams are really opting for those early rotations and then kind of a more skirmish heavy late game. So we will probably see more of that today, which is awesome. Love to see those 6-team fights. They're always exciting. Those 13-team end zones to keep us on our toes. POVs today that we will be watching. The two I want to kind of focus on or keep in the corner of our eye are K Swinney. The reason I want to keep an eye on K Swinney and EXO is because they're a little underperforming to their normal standard. As we know, last LAN was the first LAN that K Swinney didn't qualify for, and now they're right around the middle of the pack. So I would really like to see them have a good day. K Swinney's an amazing, very accomplished player, as well as Slayers. So I'd love to see them have a good day. If you were watching our last ALGS match day, they had one of the best professional games I've seen in a long time. They had a hard pull zone away from them. Really difficult rotate, really crappy position for them, and they won about 4 3v3s in a row with no real time to like hard reset. And it was just incredible. Those 3v3s, they all fought really perfectly. And then they won that game with 18 kills. So we know this team is capable of it. We just need to see them be a little more consistent. Because what will happen is they'll drop that 18 kill first place game. They'll get like 30 points. And then they'll have like a 19th place finish and a 16th place finish with like 1 KP. And so they're getting these 0-1 point games that really aren't good in the long term, right? So what you need is one of those 30-point games and then just some consistent points throughout the day to boost you and secure those playoff points. Because if you're only having one 30-point game and then finishing the day with 35, 36 points, like you're really not that safe in terms of securing yourself playoff points. So you do really need to average at least like 5 points a game after that 30-point banger to really get yourself up there. But the average you want is about 10 points per game. You want to finish with about 60 points, 60 plus points, get yourself in that like top 5 area on the day, just really secure a good chunk of Apex teams points. Obviously you want first place, but that's a little easier said than done. So that's one POV I want to keep an eye on. Hopefully Swinney and the boys can make it happen today. Looks like we are loading into game. But before the fighting starts, I just want to talk about Jay Savage and FA Kids as well. So they were the winners of our last match day. I believe they won the first and 6th game last week, and they were frying. If you've seen Jay Savage on the Nemesis, it's like it's not even a burst gun. It's just hit every bullet, dude. He is absolutely crazy. They did indeed frag out. It was really nice to watch. They had a really nice end game against Alliance and Hackis. Actually, where FA Kids, I believe it was the first game, they were kind of stuck on a hill in an awkward open position, and Alliance and Hackis were holding a building, but they really, really took advantage of an early break on Hackis where he had to drop off the top of the building, and it really allowed FA Kids an opening to push, and they did, and they won the 3v3 for first place that game. So that was really, really cool to see. Really, really well executed by them. Really excited to see what this team does today as well. And let's talk about NIP for a second, because NIP really on that borderline, as well as EXO's still in range as well. This 6 points difference you can make up with like a good game in the day kind of thing, finishing higher in the standings for the day to get those playoff points. Please keep in mind that nobody is technically officially secured in EMEA yet. The only team that's officially secured for LAN is Falcons in NA, but it does look like NAP is fighting early. So let's hop on board here. Nice, nice high ground take again by Nasky, getting an early knock. Amphi sounds like he's hurt him. It's going to be a 2v2, but they should have the HP advantage. Really nice, let's go. That's going to be a huge, huge start for NIP. Absolutely needed. Telling each other to shut up in the good old NIP fashion. Zane and Nasky are like brothers at this point.
I have 8 bats.
They've been playing together so long. But that's a really, really good start for NIP. And I believe I heard the comm of 8 bats as well. So they are going to be looking pretty loot-wise.
Can I have 2?
Wait, where's the car?
One thing to keep in mind with these early rotation games and with how the meta is being played out right now, a lot of the time it's becoming a war of attrition. So what that means is you have these teams, they get to the late game, they get an early building, so they're in a nice spot in zone, but all of a sudden they get hit by 2 sentinels and they have no meds. So now they have to play really defensive. And it doesn't allow them to get the late game KP that they're looking for, you know, maybe affects those playoff points down the line. So actually, it's really, really important with these early rotations to have the loot to sustain you, but it's not always easy because the later you get to the zone, the more teams are going to be fighting you for those positions. So it's really hard for the teams to figure out like where to weigh early rotation versus making sure you have enough loot. So NIP will be really good on the loot here. Looks like they did hit a scan here. If he pulls up his map again, I'll try and pause just so we can get a better look of where these teams are. He's too quick. There we go. So I'm not sure entirely where this zone pulls, but looks like there's about 10 teams in the zone already. Excuse me. They will be one of the later teams. Luckily, it doesn't look like there's a lot of teams directly on top of them holding them out. This might be a cascade finish based on how these 3 teams are playing. But, yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be held out too hard. I mean, it is first zone. Like, you don't want to be tanking zone for too long. But it's not going to be a big problem if you're sitting in it for a while. It's really when zone 3 starts closing that it starts chunking. And it looks like it's a hard pull to the bottom of the map towards Pylon. So NIP will have a long way to go, but they're going to want to rotate slowly. They have no real reason to rush right now. They have some KP. The other teams are a lot closer to where it's pulling, so they can't really beat them there. So there's no point in them rushing at this point. They need to establish, kind of see, oh, maybe these teams fight, maybe that team got pushed out of a building, and then we can mirror and take behind them. So that's kind of going to be the play that NIP will be looking for at this point in the game. Looks like FA Kids also doing spiders in a different section of the map. Going to be building up those shields, hopefully getting a little more meds, shields, a little bit of ammo. That's what's really nice about Stormpoint in my opinion. You have prowlers, you have spiders, just to help you top off and get ready for those skirmishes. Especially sometimes you'll land at a POI and it feels like the loot gods are against you. So it's always nice to have this as a rotational option. It's gonna be looking like K-Swinny and Exo fighting now. Oh, big knock from Swinny. Big knock from Swinny. Big damage. I'm surprised they're not getting a little aggro on this, but they might have info of another team nearby. These nades are just disgusting. That's why everyone hates playing up against Fuse, because it just feels bad, man, when you're getting spammed to death by these nades. He's going to be picking up more and spamming more. Jesus, that was probably like, what, 200, yeah, 220 damage just from Knucklefucks there. So really good from Swinny. Gonna get him towards that purple a little bit. Gonna burn that team's meds quite efficiently. So really well done. And yes, does look like there's 3 other teams in the area. So it makes sense why Exo didn't want to get too proactive on that. I'm surprised the team on top didn't work them a little bit though, because the team on top could have heard the break, and as well as obviously they know about the knock. So the team on top would have seen like, oh, like that Fuse team is far, and the team below us is effectively half HP. So would have been a chance for the height team to work, but looks like they don't want to risk anything. Nobody wants to gamble, especially this late in the season, when everyone's fighting for those last playoff points. Everybody wants to make LAN. Come on, let's be honest. That's every gamer's dream, to go to a LAN competition, play on stage in front of fans. That's so fucking cool. So let's be honest. Nobody wants to roll the dice on anything this late in the season, and fair enough, I can't blame them. I want to hop back on board here. Sorry, this is kind of 2 POV game right now, but I want to hop board with Nasky again and the boys. Looks like they are gonna find something. I don't know if I love it. As you can see, they're getting shot in the back right now. This zip maybe allows them to play a little bit of space, but yeah, I mean, this is the right call. Once you're here, keep in mind you can't leave. Like, they landed here, and they were operating with minimal information, so it's hard to know what the best choice is. But leaving this now is really hard. It basically requires other teams to fight for you to leave this. Because if they try walking this direction he's looking right now, they get beamed by the dildo team. If they walk right here, like, they get beamed by the building team. If they walk to the top of the hill, there's no rocks or anything, any cover at the top of this hill, so you're going to get shot by every team in the lobby, and Pylon's obviously going to be looking to hold for some KP as well. Now, if you look at the green zone in Nasky's minimap, they will be the gatekeeping team. So they're going to have teams walking into them. So this will become really hectic once the next zone closes. Especially because the next zone closing will be round 3 closing, where it chunks a lot. So other teams are either going to have to evac around them or just walk in and fight. Any team on this part of his map. So NIP will be fighting here. They will not have a choice in a couple minutes. Looks like 9 Lives is fighting in the top left. Let's hop on main broadcast for a second and take a look at this. Oh, nasty shot by Fives. God damn. Using the Hemlock to its fullest. It looks like that's a knock on Alliance. Maybe we can hop on with Alliance here. And Hackis will be alone. Hackis is the last one of Alliance, and that is not a performance they are going to want. And he will get aped and finished off. That will probably be 9 Lives, and it is. Wow. Early exit for Alliance. Not what they wanted. But in the standings, they are a little safer than a lot of teams. Keep in mind, again, none of these teams are secured. FaZe, basically, yeah, they need like, I think they literally need 1 playoff point on the day or something like that. Like, so FaZe is pretty safe, but Alliance not going to be happy with that. Obviously, these guys are capable of delivering in the next 5 games. Pardon me. So we'll definitely keep an eye on them. They'll be yelling at each other a little bit, trying to figure out what happened, but they'll be good, and hopefully they can get their qualification today. Really nice knock from the boys at NIP. Looks like they're 3P'ing this bang fight under the dildo. Now this is what I was talking about. These teams now have to move. In 45 seconds, this zone punishes you so hard. They get a full kill. They get 1. I'm not sure if that seer is also their knock. I don't think so. Really nice shots from Nasky, saving Zane's life there. Really good pressure to allow Zane to reset. Zane dies there if he doesn't hit every single shot and force that player back. Really nice. This is the chaos I was talking about. Looks like we have 3 teams trying to make it in. Those 2 teams fighting at dildo, and then this other team close. And really nice job by Nasky to now tighten up. Keep in mind, in situations like this, you want to play as tight as possible, help each other out as much as possible. They might want to look on other side of pylon, get a little info here, but they're already getting shot from this right side. I think Nasky has the right call here. I think they just need to go, because it's going to be a real big dice roll when these 3 teams try and rotate in, and it's just going to be crazy. Really hard to navigate fights where you're edge zone and there's multiple teams, because they don't have an option to disengage. They have to fight, right? So you're forced into a fight. Maybe both teams decide to shoot one of your players at once, and you just get really unlucky. There's not much outplay potential you can do there, right? So really good job to leave that zone early, find a spot where they're a little more secured and not forced into those fights. They've opened up a lot of late game opportunities for themselves by making this play. So really, really good call from them. Gonna try and reset on meds and stuff like that. K Swinney still knuckle fucking other teams here. He has a ton of damage, but no KP yet, so no points yet, but lots and lots of damage. And I don't believe that was their team's kill, so still sitting 0 points. I need this ad to finish so I can see what's going on with FA Kids. But Matafi is also fighting. This is Navi on your screen at the moment. Getting nade spam. This was the team that was trying to push in. The ex-teammate of NIP. Nice. Really good knock. This is the chaos I was talking about. And Navi will navigate it really well and get 6 KP on edge zone. Really, really well done by Navi. Much needed points from the boys. Really well done. Now, calling out, they have 10 seconds to move. Was the comm? I think they have a little longer, unless I misheard. But I think what he means is, like, this zone, that you just can't have it touch you. If it touches you, you're done. Especially in pro lobbies, anyone sees you running edge zone, like you're just getting firing squatted. And that's not ideal. So, he is right. They do need to move before the zone moves. This roof is not an option. At certain POIs, you can coexist with teams, like a team inside here, and you can play the roof. But because of pylon and like big high ground, you'd get punished playing the roof. But he's making the call that there's no players in the building. If there's no players in the building, they should have already walked up. You do have the Bloodhound scan. The longer this goes, the worse it gets. They just need to take it. They just need to go. Shoot out those Watson fences, get in. And now that's NIP they're shooting at there. But he makes a really good call here, Matafe, saying if it's taken, we just play outside, which is really, really good. What you want to do is call different scenarios for your team before they happen, so you're proactive, not reactive. With a proactive call like that, if there is a team in the building, as long as your teammates are listening to you, you instantly have a game plan rather than panicking to try and figure something out. So really nicely done by Matafi then. Looks like FA Kids was killed by them. That was one of the edge teams they were fighting, it looks like, because they're spectating. So really, really well done. Looks like 9 Lives is down to 1 player. So our 2 teams that need to perform are doing decent in game 1. Good starts, good starts. Looks like they're both going to hit top 10. Neither team pressured really hard right now. Let's look at K Swinney. The thing that's working against EXO and Swinney right now is their armors. So look at that. You're on triple blue in a late game. Whereas if you look at like MIP, for example, they're triple purple. So if these two teams are to fight, instantly every team member on NIP essentially has a 2-bullet advantage. So if you think about most ARs, they hit like 15 damage, 17 damage, 19 damage, 15, like that kind of thing. So if you have 25 bonus HP, effectively it takes 2 bullets. 2 bullets would do a little more than the advantage they have by the armor, but 1 wouldn't do it, right? So you need a minimum of 2 bullets to actually even out your health at the start of the fight, essentially, right? So it's a big advantage, especially in professional play where the margins are so small, right? These players are so good. The difference between hitting 1 or 2 bullets is massive, right? So really good position to be in with purples. And then if you look at Matafe and boys, they're triple red. Triple red versus triple blue. You're never losing that fight, right? Excuse me. A lot of the time you see if a team's on triple red and they identify a triple blue team, they're just going to ape that. Looks like Matafe and Navi are just going to be looking for a rotate. Going to be playing this vehicle but getting spammed. Oh, and they will be going down. Nothing they can do here. Kind of will be up still, but not for long at all. Now let's hop on board here with Nasuke and the boys. Looks like they're still alive. They're going to get a full reset. And finally, K-Swinny and Exo are up to purples. Really good for them. And now they're getting some KP. Their building is getting challenged. Lots and lots of chaos. Hard to keep track of everything going on. I think we're going to keep these two POVs. We're going to watch K-Swinny and Nasuke for the rest of the game, I think. We'll keep the main broadcast in mind as well. Oh, we get commercial breaked on Nasuke. No way. We get commercial breaked on main broadcast. So that leaves us with 1 POV. We're going to hop on board here with Swinny. Let's see what he can make happen. Now that they're on triple purple, they are in a more comfortable position. And they do have the safest spot until zone pulls. Now zone pulls in 10 seconds, so that's not a lot of time. There will most likely be forced into a fight with one team. It is 4 other teams of 3 right now, so every team is full. Gonna knuckle fuck the one side so they can't swing. Gonna ult the Sky to get his scan and insta heal that little bit of damage. It does look like this. He's burning this team above them. Oh, gets some KP out of it. Really nicely done. Team on height, loving that one as well. I believe they picked up 1 or 2 free KP as well. Commercial break still in progress on Nasuke. Maybe we'll hop onto this mainstream because they have a little bit of a better POV. You will see Eternal on height here. Now look, Swinny team is going to have to move, and this is where they die, unfortunately. Unless every team in the lobby whiffs a lot of shots here, there's nothing they can really do. Nice try with this bang ult, forcing them off the angles. But I do believe the other 2 teams should still be hard staring at that, because that's the first team forced out. So there's no reason for every team to not try and get that KP, and they will. Exo Clan is eliminated. Nice try from Swinny and them, but a very needed first game from them. We talked about them needing that 5 to 10 points every single game kind of thing, as well as a good game in the mix. So they will get that this game. And now they just need to perform for the next 5, and their playoff dreams may still be alive. Now Eternal in first place here on the day so far. Looks like they have 6 KP as a squad. Really good spot in zone here. Looks like they're just going to clean up this last little bit, and they should be our victors in game 1. Maybe not. Big whiffs, and Trojan actually going to beat them in the 3v3. I thought they were in a really good spot in that roof there, but the chaos of the end game looks like they didn't actually have the angles that they wanted to finish it out. So they will indeed drop to the Trojan squad there. And now we will see the standings after game number 1. Time to bring me my money. So, very interesting standards here. Standards. Blah, blah, blah. Trojans is going to be in first place. They drop 11 kills for a 23-point game. That's a very, very solid game for Trojan. If now, again, they're in a pretty good position. That's the first game of the day. In the next 5 games, if they can average 5 to 10 points a game, they're going to finish in a really good spot on the day and secure a lot of playoff points that a lot of teams are fighting for. Looking at NIP and EXO specifically. Eternal is going to get second place with 9 kills. Really, really good game from Bambino and the boys. NIP finished third. We didn't really get to see their POV because of that ad break we got, unfortunately. But very well played game by them. 8 kills. And they finished fifth, but third in points overall because of that 8 kills. So really, really good from them. They navigated that end zone pretty well. Coming through that choke early was very, very smart. Didn't force themselves into the fight with like Matafe and FA kids and the other teams riding in. Speaking of Matafe, Nave is going to get 4th place overall. They also had 8 kills because of that fighting in the choke, and they'll finish with 10 points. 9th overall, they died pretty early. They're really happy to have kills that game because these points are so important. If they would have finished like top 5 there, that would have been a huge game for them as well. Atlas in 5th. EXO down in 6th. 8 points. Solid game. Obviously, you're going to want more than that. You're going to want a pop-off game, kind of like Trojan has with the 23 points, 11 kills. But if you look at how that end zone pulled, EXO really didn't have an opportunity to get higher than 4th. They were kind of just at the will of the other teams at that point. Not much to do, unfortunately, for them. 3 KP, obviously better than 0, but they would have liked a little more. The issue with their house there was they couldn't really swing either of their doors without getting punished by other teams in the zone. So they really don't have an option to look for a ton of KP. They did nice. They fought one team on their building, I believe, and then they got 1 KP on that team that was trying to leave very, very late. But again, they're going to need probably one really solid game and then a couple more 8-point games to get where they want to be. And then FA Kids finished with 6 points and 15th. So, wow, only 1 placement point, 5 kills. I believe they died to Navi trying to get through that choke we were talking about. Really tough rotation for them to make, but capitalizing the best they can. And that's about wraps for